What's something people don't know about Greece? It's not just ancient ruins and mythology. We're diving into the vibrant cities, the street foods that make your taste buds dance, the museums that house treasures beyond imagination, and the islands that are a slice of paradise. Forget the Parthenon, forget the Acropolis, forget the myths etched in stone and the echoes of empires. We're not here for the ghosts, not just for the ancients. We're here for the Greece that thrives, that breathes, that sweats garlic and olive oil under a sun drunk on its own mythology. We're here for the stories etched on faces as much as on marble, the kind you hear in the clink of glasses, the boisterous laughter spilling out of tavernas long after midnight. We're here for the unexpected, the gritty, the beautiful chaos that is modern Greece. So buckle up, kids. It's gonna be a bumpy ride. And trust me, you don't want to miss a single bite. Subscribe for more fascinating facts and hidden gems from around the world. Athens, a city where contradictions collide, where the weight of history hangs heavy, yet somehow manages to dance with a vibrant, almost frenetic energy. You can practically feel the pulse of the ancients in the air, a low hum beneath the cacophony of car horns and street vendors. We're starting at the base of the Acropolis, a monument so iconic it's practically a cliché. But clichés become clichés for a reason, right? The sheer scale of it, the way it dominates the skyline, it gets under your skin. We're not just gonna gawk at ruins, though. We're gonna wander through the Plaka, the oldest neighborhood in Athens, a labyrinth of narrow streets and ancient buildings now housing trendy boutiques and traditional tavernas. We'll share a coffee with locals, hear their stories, their hopes, their frustrations. We'll uncover the soul of Athens, one plate of souvlaki, one shot of ouzo, one conversation at a time. Forget Athens, my friends. If you want a real taste of Greece, a no-bullshit, down-and-dirty culinary adventure, then Thessaloniki is calling your name. This is a city where East meets West on a plate, a melting pot of flavors that will blow your mind. Thessaloniki is a city steeped in history, a place where empires have risen and fallen, leaving behind a legacy of culinary influences. From the Byzantines to the Ottomans, each wave of conquest has left its mark on the city's cuisine. We're talking about food that's been honed over centuries, passed down through generations of grandmothers who rule their kitchens with an iron fist and a wooden spoon. No Michelin stars here, just pure, unadulterated flavor. So loosen your belts, folks, because we're about to embark on a street food odyssey that will leave you craving more. So you've had your fill of crumbling columns and ancient history. You've walked through the remnants of civilizations long gone, feeling the weight of time pressing down on you. The stories of the past whispering in your ears, the grandeur of ancient empires now reduced to stones and dust. It's a humbling experience, isn't it? To stand where great minds once stood, to tread the same paths as philosophers and warriors. But let's be honest, after a while, all those ruins start to look the same. The columns, the statues, the broken pottery. It's fascinating, but it can also be overwhelming. You start to crave something different, something more immediate, more tangible. You've wandered through the Acropolis, dodged selfie sticks, and maybe even pondered the philosophical musings of Socrates. Good for you. You've listened to guides recount tales of gods and heroes, tried to imagine the world as it was thousands of years ago. You've taken your selfies, capturing moments that will soon be lost in the digital abyss of your phone's memory. You've done the tourist thing, and now you're ready for something else. Something that speaks to the here and now, to the world we live in today. Now let's talk about something a little closer to my heart: consumption. The act of acquiring, of owning, of indulging. It's a different kind of history. One that's being written every day in the aisles of shopping malls and the pages of online catalogs. It's the history of desire, of want, of the never-ending quest for more. And there's no better place to experience this than in the modern temples of consumerism. Specifically, the kind that doesn't involve worrying about whether the street vendor washes his hands. The Mall Athens, a place where you can lose yourself in the glittering aisles of high-end stores, where the air is filled with the scent of newness and possibility. It's a world away from the dusty ruins and ancient stones. Here, everything is shiny and new, designed to catch your eye and make you want. It's a different kind of seduction, one that speaks to our most basic instincts. A glittering temple to consumerism, a monument to the seductive power of things. Don't judge. We all have our weaknesses. For some, it's the thrill of the hunt, the joy of finding that perfect item. For others, it's the simple pleasure of being surrounded by beauty, of feeling like you're part of something bigger. And for others still, it's the comfort of knowing that, for a little while at least, you can have whatever you want. We all have our weaknesses. Some of us dream of ancient ruins and lost civilizations. Others dream of designer labels and the perfect pair of shoes. It's all about what makes you feel alive, what makes you feel connected to the world around you. And there's no shame in that. We all have our ways of coping, of finding meaning in a world that often feels chaotic and uncertain. Some of us dream of ancient ruins and lost civilizations, of the mysteries of the past and the stories that have been lost to time. We find solace in the idea that there is something greater than ourselves, something that has stood the test of time. We are drawn to the idea of discovery, of uncovering the secrets of the past and understanding the world in a deeper way. Others dream of designer labels and the perfect pair of shoes. We find joy in the act of creation, in the artistry and craftsmanship that goes into making something beautiful. We are drawn to the idea of self-expression, of using fashion as a way to communicate who we are and what we value. We find meaning in the details, in the little things that make life special. Who am I to judge? We all have our own ways of finding happiness, of making sense of the world. And there's no right or wrong way to do it. Whether you're drawn to the past or the present, to history or to fashion, it's all about what makes you feel alive. And that's something we can all appreciate. Truth be told, I've always found a certain perverse pleasure in these kinds of places, the sheer spectacle of it all. The lights, the sounds, the endless array of things to see and do. It's a sensory overload, a feast for the eyes and the mind. And there's something undeniably thrilling about it. It's a reminder that, no matter how much we think we know, there's always something new to discover. The sheer spectacle of it all. The way everything is designed to catch your eye, to draw you in, and make you want more. It's a carefully crafted experience, one that's meant to make you feel a certain way. And it works. We are drawn to the lights, the colors, the promise of something new and exciting. It's a form of escapism, a way to forget about the worries of the world and lose yourself in the moment. The relentless pursuit of, well, something. Happiness, status, a fleeting sense of fulfillment in a world that often feels empty. Yeah, I know. It's easy to be cynical, to see it all as a shallow pursuit of material things. But there's more to it than that. It's about the search for meaning, for connection, for something that makes us feel alive. And that's something we can all relate to in one way or another. A fleeting sense of fulfillment in a world that often feels empty. Yeah, I know. Deep thoughts from a guy who makes a living stuffing his face on camera. But hey, even a cynical bastard like me can appreciate the finer things in life. And sometimes, the finer things come wrapped in designer packaging, nestled between the pages of a glossy magazine, or beckoning from behind a gleaming shop window. Deep thoughts from a guy who makes a living stuffing his face on camera. But hey, even a cynical bastard like me can appreciate the finer things in life. The joy of a perfectly cooked meal, the thrill of discovering a new flavor, the satisfaction of sharing that experience with others. It's all part of what makes life worth living. But hey, even a cynical bastard like me can appreciate the finer things in life. The joy of a perfectly cooked meal, the thrill of discovering a new flavor, the satisfaction of sharing that experience with others. It's all part of what makes life worth living. And sometimes the finer things come wrapped in designer packaging, nestled between the pages of a glossy magazine, or beckoning from behind a gleaming shop window. And sometimes the finer things come wrapped in designer packaging, nestled between the pages of a glossy magazine, or beckoning from behind a gleaming shop window. It's all about the experience, the feeling of being part of something special. And that's something we can all appreciate in our own way. Nestled between the pages of a glossy magazine, or beckoning from behind a gleaming shop window. It's all about the experience, the feeling of being part of something special. And that's something we can all appreciate in our own way, whether it's the thrill of the hunt, the joy of discovery, or the simple pleasure of being surrounded by beauty. It's all part of what makes life worth living, or beckoning from behind a gleaming shop window. It's all about the experience, the feeling of being part of something special. And that's something we can all appreciate in our own way, whether it's the thrill of the hunt, the joy of discovery, or the simple pleasure of being surrounded by beauty. It's all part of what makes life worth living. So go ahead, indulge a little. You deserve it. Forget the Parthenon, forget the Acropolis, at least for a moment. Yeah, they're impressive, sure, monuments to a glorious past. But the real treasures, the artifacts that whisper stories of gods and monsters, of heroes and emperors, those are housed here, in the National Archaeological Museum. We're talking about a collection spanning millennia, from the Cycladic figurines, those minimalist masterpieces that would make Brancusi jealous, to the gold funerary mask of Agamemnon, bling that would make a rapper blush. Each piece a thread in the tapestry of a civilization that laid the foundation for Western civilization. And it's not just the big-ticket items, it's the everyday objects, the pottery, the jewelry, the tools, that give you a real sense of how these people lived, loved, and died. You can practically smell the olive oil in the amphorae, hear the clatter of sandals on the mosaic floors. So come on, let's step inside, out of the Athenian sun and into the cool, hushed halls of the museum. Let's lose ourselves in the stories these objects have to tell. Let's get down to the nitty-gritty of what it means to be Greek, or at least what it meant all those centuries ago. Forget Mykonos, forget the postcards. Santorini is something else entirely. It's a place where the earth itself seems to sigh, a volcanic gasp frozen in time, a breathtaking spectacle of whitewashed villages clinging to cliffs that plunge into the impossibly blue Aegean Sea. This isn't just another Greek island. This is a siren song of beauty, a place that seduces you with its sunsets, its stark landscape softened by splashes of bougainvillea, its air thick with the scent of salt and thyme. You can feel it the moment you step off the ferry, a palpable energy that hums beneath the surface, a sense of history layered upon history. This is a place where myth and reality collide, where the ghosts of Minoan kings rub shoulders with sunburnt tourists sipping Santorini wine. So, ditch the guidebook, lose yourself in the labyrinthine streets, and let Santorini work its magic. Trust me, it's the kind of place that gets under your skin, that stays with you long after you've left its sun-drenched shores. From the Acropolis to the backstreets of Thessaloniki, from the ancient ruins to the sun-drenched beaches, Greece has a way of getting under your skin. It's a country of contrasts, of ancient history colliding with modern life, of vibrant energy and tranquil beauty. We hope this guide inspires you to visit Greece and experience its diverse attractions firsthand. Safe travels, and don't forget to tell us about your favorite Greek destination in the comments below. Like, subscribe, and let's keep the conversation going.